Hi, I'm Andrea Melarengo, and I got the opportunity to be a part of the DTS in 2017 in the Justice elective. So before I decided to come to a DTS, I was in the middle of obtaining my master's degree at Colorado Christian University with the intent of being a counselor for the survivors of human trafficking. And through this elective, it's really transformed my heart to give me more of a biblical worldview of the perpetrators of human trafficking. Before, I would never have imagined that I would ever want to work with the perpetrators, but I have seen such a hope and change that God, He's the only one that can create this change in their lives. And just the love that God has for these men and women who are so broken that they're just destroying other people's lives. God was able to lead me to go to Southeast Asia, and this area unfortunately has a huge spirit of greed and bondage, and there's a lot of prostitution and a lot of human trafficking and a lot of human exploitation going on there, and I got to see it firsthand. God was just really calling me and just giving me a heart for this land and giving me a heart for the people that live there. While we were working in that area, there's a village a very remote village, and it's right on the border of where it's happening, and God was just speaking so clearly that that's where He wants me. And about 2 days before I had to leave to go to a different location, I started having this feeling of not wanting to leave, and I thought it was just my emotions. My heart was wanting to stay there. So I really started to press in and started to pray and find out, is this you, God, or is this me? And through several hours of prayer and just really asking Him, He confirmed one thing after another. And then the day before we had to leave, I walked into the kitchen area where they cook. It's a little hut that's outside, and I'm talking with the family, and the pastor really could tell and sense that something was going on in my spirit. And so he asked me about it, and I just told him that I did not want to leave, and he was just bluntly don't leave. So I was are you serious? I could stay. And he's yeah. And so he described this discipleship, this training that he has, and this opportunity that I could stay there and work with him. And I looked at him and I said, this is amazing, but I really have to pray and seek God and seek God's direction, because I don't want this coming from me. So I took the night, prayed into it, got more confirmation, felt at peace with it, but I was still wrestling, wanting to make sure that this was God. So my team made it safely back in Orlando for debriefing. And in the middle of our justice debriefing, I was given the opportunity to share my experience in Southeast Asia. And as I'm sharing this, Scott was he just poured out what God had told him in that moment. And he said that he got a picture of me in a library or a bookstore. And in this picture, this bookstore had books in it with covers that were kind of disguising these books. And when you open the book, it would say something to the lines of help me, I need rescuing. And these women who are suffering from this and living this out, and needed rescuing, were able to check those books out. And I would know that they need rescued, and we would have a safe house in an area, and I would be able to safely get them out of the situation. So yeah, as he was sharing that, like, it was just total confirmation that like God is totally in this and his hand is all over it. So I'm really excited for the next steps. So the reason that Scott's word was so confirming for me was because during our time in Southeast Asia, the pastor of this village was sharing his heart and sharing his vision for his community in order to have a safe place for them to study Christianity. And they're working to gather the resources financially to begin opening this library. I'm just so excited and so thrilled that God has chosen me to be a part of this amazing movement in order to help combat human exploitation.